Welcome to Yildiz Readings 5D. Okay, we are here to dive deep into the weekly astrology. We cover it week by week for each zodiac sign. Please join us and subscribe. We also have an additional section now, which is the members zone for twin flames, pre-release video content and more. Also, have a look at the merch. Let's get into the astrology for the week and see what comes up for your zodiac sign. Now, January is full of twists and turns. If you do need a booking, the link is below. I also put specials up. And before I forget, as above, we do have the 2021 forecast for all your zodiac signs. That is a detailed report as to how the transits will infect you, what dates they're occurring, and what houses they will occur in. So keep those for reference. I'll try and pin them in the videos so that when you need them, they are easily accessible. Now, moving into the month, we do have the new moon occurring on the 13th in Capricorn by the 23rd, and we do have quite heavy placements this week relating to that Capricorn placement. Please have a look at the video for your 2021 transits. They do cover the astrology with retrogrades, directs, house placements and more. For the more weekly orientated energy to keep up to date, please subscribe so you get these transits and you know where the placements are for you. Now, moving into this month, we do have on the 13th the new moon in Capricorn, and it will be at the critical degree point. So any aspects linking to Capricorn are deeply important that you really focus on to get the best out of this week so that you can have that brand new beginning by the end of it. We also have Mercury in Aquarius, and that occurred on the 8th and it will continue. So our thoughts, our connections, our speech, our movement will be in the bigger picture of things. We have also Venus in Capricorn, very similar to the moon energy, taking that direct responsibility and accountability with our marriages, contracts, partnerships. Now, Mars also had moved last week out of Aries, so we do have some reprieve, and it is in the house of Taurus, and it will be till March the 3rd. We do have quite heavy hitting energies linking to Taurus at the moment. Uranus and Taurus will go direct by the 14th. We also have Lilith and Taurus facing our shadow, deeply important, and Mars and Taurus. Hard to think then. Okay, so the squaring aspects that will be occurring this week is between Mercury squaring Uranus on the 12th and Mercury squaring Black Moon Lilith on the 14th, the day of Uranus and Taurus going direct. Mercury also goes in shadow by the 14th, so get that paperwork in order to be prepared. Beautiful Aries. Now, from the 9th through to the 15th, what potentially can be coming up for you? Now, your emotions on the 9th may be really guided to look at your 9th house placement. Now, 9th house can be emotions relating to your belief systems, pouring your energy into upskilling, dealing with foreign countries and trade, and maybe even looking at what your purpose is at this point and pouring energy into such. Now, we do have conversational pieces on the 9th that do surround your career, your hopes, dreams and aspirations, as well as your psychology behind those things. Now, at points there can be tension and there can be a need to go with the flow. Very separately, highly focused from your marriages, contracts, partnerships, themes to do with the work that you put in. Now, this can be a very testing week in a sense with development of these areas, especially because this is the final week prior to the shadow phase of Mercury going retrograde. Now, we do have the Sun in Capricorn making a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn, and this is on the 9th. So themes surrounding ending situations, tying up loose ends, things that we need to let go of can come up on this day. And again, it can bring to light the things that do need to be changed inside of situations relating to finance, as we do have the moon making a quincunx to Uranus and Taurus. So these commonalities and the work that you're putting in, there can be a tension point of trying to complete these things, and it can be a lot of hard work, but with hard work you will have development in this department. You may also find with Mercury in Aquarius making a conjunction to Saturn in Aquarius, your social life is extremely busy, and these can be the things of a nature of accountability. Now, conjunction points do bring things to light. They also bring pivotal points in this energy, and due to the fact that we have both Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, the development of the 11th house will continue through much of 2021 and beyond. You may find that you have an epiphany point when it does come to your thoughts, your actions, your words, and your hopes and dreams. Whether the responsibility inside of those things with your current footings is going to be maintainable if it resonates with you, but there also can be information coming in relating to legalities, contracts, situations surrounding these things. And really working hard in this department until the end of this week is going to be deeply important. So if you're needing to sign paperwork and do things to that degree, it can become busier, and there will be development in this section of your life, and you can find moving into shadow phase by the end of the week that your social life picks up. With any subject relating to marketing, advertising, networking, applying for jobs, schooling, education, logistical situations as well. You may find during this time you're tying up and having epiphanies relating to your thoughts, your communication, information can be coming in, and it can also be circumstances surrounding friendship groups transforming and changing, and that can be for better or worse. But regardless, it's eliminating those situations in your life that you don't feel you resonate with. You may also find, due to the fact that the Sun in Capricorn is making a conjunction to Pluto in Capricorn, linking to your second house, that unexpected bills, replacements of items may be coming up to look at. Also, quality systems relating to paperwork, documentation, taxation, and the direct foundation of where the situations in your life stand as they are. You can find on the 9th that your relationship sector of life can flourish and move freely, and this can be where more self-esteem can be gained now that Mars has transited into the house of Taurus, and you may find that you're more assertive within your marriages, contracts, partnerships. This can also be creating healthy boundaries, standing up for yourself and owning that worth. In the squaring aspects, it can become a little bit passive aggressive, so bear in mind on the 9th there could be that tension point due to the fact that Mercury in Aquarius is squaring Mars in Taurus. Now, the nodes are also quincunxing the Sun in Capricorn, so Gemini for you does connect to situations relating to your communication, and it can feel a lot like an opposition. So yes, there can be tension point relating to your thought processes and that of what you are trying to achieve, which is the third house. This can be your ability to communicate, your ability to self-express, your day-to-day routine, having to do something at a drop of a hat, the way you're showing up. So yes, there can be tension points in communication. However, you will find with the other aspects, facing our shadows and dealing with these circumstances head on, we can make those hopes and dreams come true. Really depends on how you're able to handle it. With the Sun in Capricorn, it can be where relating to the circumstances surrounding your career sector, that you are attempting to achieve the best you can, and self-mastery and management could be up for grabs. If you can deal with the circumstances on the 9th patiently, as well as you may find something out about yourself at that time, you may find that you're able to lead and lead by example and deal with any conflicts that do arise in a timely fashion. If the grand plan was to have a holiday or to do anything relating to your business and networking with overseas energies, there could be some tension point there. And it's not necessarily saying no, it's requesting more time and it's requesting a bigger view for that picture. You also could be making future plans in relation to the bigger picture of where you want your life to be. This can be inside of your career sector or inside of your deep, intimate connections. Old themes can come back to play. We do have Aries and Chiron. It is your first house placement. We also have Chiron in Aries making a square to Venus. So what does this mean? Connecting to career, there could be some old wounds that come up. There could be something from the past coming up to haunt you that needs dealing with, and especially because we have the Sun conjunct Pluto, it's about tying up the mess, tying up the loose ends so that you can let that situation go. It also can be an emotion relating to the career sector and where you stand in the matrix, breaking that glass ceiling, achieving a dream, or trying to attain employment. It will pass. It's about moving through it, tidying up that skeleton closet and dealing with those circumstances. Now, the 10th of January can be a similar energy as we have similar aspects, and we also still have the moon transiting Sagittarius in your 9th house. We can find that our career sector, also our marriages, contracts, partnerships, can be flowing effectively when it does come to self-worth energy. This can also be if you're working extremely hard to flow to build that abundance within your life. The things in which you're doing are taking you that distance. They are going to start showing signs of reprieve and change. But Capricorn is really quite heavy in the charts this month, especially when it relates to Pluto. So Pluto is really asking us to check that foundation, make sure things are in order, make sure that our work is on point, and we are taking that direct energy of accountability. Now, the Sun on the 10th is at 20 degrees, and we're reaching the critical degree point with Pluto. So that energy we have moving towards these circumstances in the house of Capricorn, relating to the work we do, relating to our marriages, contracts, partnerships, is going to take some energy. We do have the energy of responsibility coming through, shining on us. We can potentially at times fall into ego accidentally, but we also can get a little bit burnt out. So it can feel like that energy of Capricorn is coming for us. But with it, it's showing us the balance of focusing on these details to get the best out of 2021. Now, Pluto on the 10th is at 24 degrees, so this can be sudden things coming up that need to be cleared up, tidied up and ended. And maybe even having things where you have worked extremely hard and the stability is there. So it depends on the work we do. Now, there can be tension in the communication and with your day-to-day routine, so the hustle and bustle could be there to deal with circumstances on the 10th. With your emotions, it could cause frustration and tension. Now, on the 11th, we do have the moon transiting Sagittarius. Now, the beautiful aspects from Chiron, they are making sextiles to both Saturn, Jupiter and Mercury, so your thoughts and your feelings can be flowing. You may be communicating effectively. The way you relate to situations that potentially are a bit touchy in a subject nature, you'll have that in the bigger picture of growth, you'll have that in the bigger picture of accountability, and you'll have that by the way you are thinking and showing up. It is, however, making a square to Venus. So relating to your marriages, contracts, partnerships, and your career sector and the work you put in, if something comes up, you will be leveled up enough to deal with those circumstances. But it could be a little bit testing, but you have the aspects that are helping you grow beyond. Self-esteem energy can be transforming as well as the cash component by the 11th. You can find that during this time you are with Black Moon Lilith facing your shadow and integrating these circumstances, but there are aspects that are showing wealth and abundance starting to move. So if there have been things that you're tying up and you are moving towards your hopes, dreams, aspirations, goals, you will find that the work you put in, yes, you can see from the transits, it's showing that yes, there will be development. But it doesn't mean to say that we can't face our shadow during this time with the squaring aspects. There can be tension. With Black Moon Lilith and Uranus and Taurus, you can see the energy that you're putting in via the charts, that it is movement. But again, some of you might be getting to a point you're looking at that second house placement and feeling, what exactly is it you need? Facing our shadows inside of that second house placement. What do I need versus what did I think I needed? So, shadow work is really, really helpful when it does come to practicality and rationale. And I really feel at the moment, some of you are really with the ninth house placement, looking at those bigger pictures and deciding with the energy and the accountability what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Now, with the Sun sextiling Neptune, when it does come to the work that you're putting in, I do see this as quite a compliment. It's those patterns you're breaking and dealing with psychological circumstances that can be a little bit testing on you, but you're breaking patterns. And this can be breaking things down, dealing with arduous tasks, as well as, looking at the your belief systems, looking at your value systems, maybe having epiphanies in relation to who you were before versus who you are now. And it does make sense because we had Mars in Aries. So if you did find last year you were really beating yourself up and feeling really frustrated to do with circumstances, it was really putting fire in your energy. And depending on the aspects astrology was making, it would have been very yin and yang. So the pressure can be that you're giving yourself a break. Yes, some of these circumstances, if they haven't cleared up, they are coming up at the moment. And you have the beauty of visiting a different energy and embodying that till March the 3rd, which is the house of Taurus. So it's very much second house placement. This can be the house of self-esteem, the house of wealth, the way in which you gain your income, your professional resources, your net worth value, and subjects relating to land. So if any of those situations are coming up at the moment, especially by the time we reach the end of this week with Uranus and Taurus going direct, there can be sudden movement and balance regained, but a deep transformation in that area by doing that work. And a lot of the themes that can come up after that, if there has been tension points relating to the cash component, you can find this can ease and you can implement that energy of Mars moving forward until March the 3rd. But then we also have to do with your hopes, dreams and aspirations and your friendship groups. We do have Mercury going retrograde, and that will be in shadow by the end of the week. So yes, it can be people from the past coming back, readdressing those areas, wanting to do more social activities, and really even with the 11th house, reflection of the past with the wider group, your social circle you were mixing with. On the 12th, we have the moon transiting Capricorn. So yes, subjects relating to your emotions, relating to the work you're doing. This can be both good and bad. You may be deeply passionate about that area. You can feel you're on point and in alignment and, in your empowerment. Or some of you may be having emotions relating to, wow, this is big. This is a lot of responsibility. So with the sun and the moon there, we can have that need of balance at that time. So circumstances surrounding your career may be focused on this day. Circumstances to do with employment and the way you're showing up and your reputation. And much of this week, reputation, fame or lack of can be coming up, where you're trying to, rewrite that chapter, turn over that new leaf and be that newer version of thyself. Okay, now with the 12th, you may not be feeling everything's flowing so well this day. That is due to the fact we do have squaring aspects connecting in with both Saturn and Jupiter. I feel, if anything, it may be energy related. Having the energy to do things, so it's a real good time to get grounded. You have the sun in Capricorn, you got the moon in Capricorn. You may be feeling emotionally a little bit fatigued because you do have trines occurring with your employment and with your finances. So I'd say it's more fatigue than anything and mental fog. Now you guys do need to bear in mind that any aspects Chiron makes is going to be an indication of where your energy levels are at. Now we do have Chiron and Aries, which technically is your first house placement, but Chiron, the wounded healer, also can relate to Virgo, high heart chakra. So from a healing point of view, we do have, let's have a look at the aspects for Chiron for you on this day. Mercury, Saturn and Jupiter are flowing beautifully. So from a point of view of applying yourself, they can be flowing effectively. But from, wounds potentially relating to how people see you, if you have a great reputation, if your career is flowing effectively, it is hitting that 10th house placement. Also relating into marriages, contracts, partnerships. So the testing energy can come from wounds relating to that. And again, it can be circumstances playing out. It also can be emotions coming up. Yes, this is set to change. So, yes, they can be coming up, but yes, it's transforming. There also could be difficulty in expressing how you're feeling on this day. So, be it you're a masculine or a feminine, it does link to the nodes in Gemini making a quincunx to the moon, our emotions relating to these responsibilities and the devil card and the tarot. It may be hard to articulate. It could also be difficulties in, the communication, cross wires and things to that degree, and really trying to work out how to rectify that in a responsible fashion. One thing I can see is you will have the clarity, and a moment can come up on the 12th that gives you clarity as to what it's going to take to change areas in your life, and that's because of the conjunction. So the conjunction points being made is Mercury conjunct Jupiter. So with that expansion and that growth and the communication in your thoughts, what that is you're going to know, because Mars is also making aspects there. But there's also tension relating to, okay, I've had clarity as to what I need to do. I'm grasping the magnitude of the energy and commitment and movement I will have to put into this. Let me just take a moment and recalculate. And then we reach the 13th. Okay, the new moon in Capricorn at 23 degrees, the critical degree point. Set your intentions when it relates to the career sector. Set your intentions. Brand new beginnings relating to, again, we do have Venus in Capricorn at the moment. We've got, the sun there. We've got the moon there. So, yes, themes surrounding our emotions, really wanting that emotional connection in a responsible fashion. Really wanting to put the energy in a responsible fashion into your marriages, contracts, partnerships and career sector. The tension point can be self-esteem or the resources at this point to do such. It is temporary. The clarity inside those tension points is the hard work and integration needed to be able to achieve that. Looking at it, it's setting it, but it's trusting it on this day. New moons can usher things in, but at the same time, it can feel like the Fool card in the tarot. You're jumping in, you're not quite sure. You know exactly what you want. You don't have the egoic, okay, this is how it has to be. You know what it is. You don't know how you're going to do it yet. But it's breathing in that energy, embodying it, and then taking a day and then allowing that to come through. And ironically enough, by the 11th, we do have the moon transiting Aquarius. So we've got the sun in Capricorn, we've got the moon in Aquarius, looking at the things that you're wanting to change, marriages, contracts, partnerships, your career sector, the way you've been showing up in the world, your hopes and dreams and aspirations, inside of your emotions connecting to Aquarius. And we also have Uranus and Taurus going direct. hitting the second house. So this can be a sudden burst of income coming through. This can be flows now coming through in your self-worth energy, as well as now being able to implement any second house placement of money, self-worth, professional resources. Now, if this is just work related, put those resumes out if you're not working. Work can start flowing. It's tying up, it's moving forward, it's implementing those changes, signing those contracts. Because as we move further, it's going to become more difficult due to the fact we're gearing up ready to go into shadow phase of Mercury retrograde in Aquarius. And that's more the time that it can be super busy in that 11th house department. You may be more social. You may feel unorganized during that time. And you may not want to start anything new. During that factor, you'll be addressing old situations, not new situations. So yes, Uranus and Taurus is a bit like Forrest Gump, box of chocolates, don't know what you're gonna get. So I could say pre-warned, forearmed, but you just don't know what you're gonna get. Most of you will have sudden changes though, but it also will be for the betterment in the long run. Uranus is the bringer of betterment for the long run. And that, psychological change when it comes to things, what we need to do inside that to liberate ourselves. So it will benefit you in the long run, but it can be a sudden change, and it does move very quickly, so it will be sudden. Now, on the 14th and the 15th, we do have the Sun in Capricorn reaching its critical degree. So this could be peak of your energy. It also could be a little bit of burnout and maybe a little bit of ego. So just be cautious with that one. Now, when it relates to the moon transiting Aquarius, themes to do with wider group energy, humanitarianism, sometimes feeling like the black sheep. For you, it links to your social aspirations in the 11th house. So this can be your friendship groups, it can be your pastimes and your hobbies, it can be your hopes, dreams and aspirations, but it's your life's bigger picture. This is being developed at this point, and your emotions relating to it are getting tuned into, and you're pouring energy into those areas. We also have the moon in Aquarius making a conjunction to Mercury in Capricorn. Now, this can be your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and your actions, and your daily routine coming up to play when it does come to dealing with that 11th house placement, hopes, dreams, aspirations. And it can be a very busy time, but it can be a sudden situation that arises that needs to be addressed. Overall, I do feel that yes, that second house placement this month can change. Second house can be your income building, tying up those loose ends when it comes to debt, shaping up that sector of career, some of you even applying for jobs. At a separate level, you can find the work that you put into your commitments will pay off, and I do see you moving through any psychological, spiritual blockages that you had or have. And that interaction with people can be a little bit tense this week, but it's because you're changing that foundation. You're wanting to get a better life. You're wanting to have the best. So these circumstances coming at you are both self-development, and I also see within the career sector, you will be handling a lot of things. But you can be super proud of yourself by the end of this phase when we do have the new moon in Capricorn at 23 degrees. All that hard work can feel like that volcanic activity, and you've suddenly come through the other side in a rebirth sense, and you're like, gee, I did it. So whatever you're pouring your energy into this month is really going to make the world of difference, and you can be super proud of yourself. Have a great week, lovelies. I wish you the very best. Tell me how this video relates to you. I send you love, light and blessings, and I will see you next week. If you do want to subscribe, it's totally free. You can get this creative content weekly. There will be other videos to come, connecting in with romance and my psychic gift, as well as twin flame lives. And separately, I do have a join button, which does have the privacy for those of you that are twin flames and wish to get this content earlier than when it's released. Merch button, last but not least, yes, you can personalize those items. So if you wanted to put your name on them or anything to that degree, go and have a look, and I'll see you next week.